What's up, Disabe? Whew. It's amazing to be here and really scary. You have no idea, my liver is gonna collapse, seriously. Do we have slides up? Yeah, we do, amazing. I'm gonna talk about data breaches and how to kind of make money out of it. But before, I would like to thank everybody, organizers, speakers, sponsors, volunteers, and of course, all of you lovely people, for your health and sexy brains. Cheers. That was good. Oh. That aftershock of the whiskey. Okay, dokie. Let's start. Who am I? I'm Shamil. I got a bit of formal education. At the moment, I'm Master of Science, kinda. After my master's degree, I ended up working in physical security. Actually, no, I was a cleaner, but it is a kind of a physical security. And believe it or not, people are still putting their passwords on stickers under the keyboard. You know, you're flipping the keyboard and cleaning. Whoop. At the moment, I'm working as the lead analyst for Cyber Intelligence House, which is also sponsoring this event, one of the sponsors. And of course, Turkosek. It's amazing. Woo! Thanks. If you need Turkosek condoms, talk to me. And it's my third year volunteering for Disobey. Okie dokie, I hope I'm not going too fast. It's my first experience talking in front of quite a crowd. So what are the data breaches? They're basically intentional or unintentional release of the private data into untrusted system. And well, it's been what? It's not even 2 weeks into the 2019 and we already have quite a nice news about the data breaches. Town of Salem, I think 5 million of affected. The recent Bundestag thingy, the German politicians being doxxed. Well, the end of the year, of last year wasn't better either. We got what, quarter, 100 million. And in November we got the Marriott, Starwood Hotel breach. Breaches happen. So this was kind of a bit of boring part. I'll be talking about database hoarding. It's like a digital hoarding. You know, when you have zillions of bookmarks on your browser and you're still keeping funny cat gifs from 2006. But when it comes to databases, it's basically collecting databases. Now, what can be, for example, use cases of a collection of databases? First of all, it's a hobby. It's a digital collectible items that you can collect. For research, if you perform research on the databases and how it happened or which kind of passwords were used in the dump and which kind of hash and whatever you think of. Of course, you probably know the Brian Krebs. He was using it for doxing and investigations. And some law enforcement or investigative journalists are using the breach databases to find out more information about the targets. And of course, we have the open source intelligence investigations. If you listen to Michael Bazel's podcast, he quite often talks about how he uses stuff. We have a breach notification services like Troy Hunt's project called Have I Been Pwned? Who is using it, by the way? Nice, nice, good job. We have threat intelligence services that make use of the databases and collecting them. And of course, you can get a profit if you sell it. I'll talk a bit of misuse cases or examples. For example, selling, of course, or ransoming is one way. This is from one of the forums that one of the users was selling the town of Salem, 11 million, as an example. And Of course, if you have breach databases and people do reuse the passwords, and you can kind of perform the account takeovers, like not to offend any CISPs, but this is the passwords that were used in the LinkedIn breach, which is 167 million, and I think they used SHA-1 without assault happens. And the password reuse, of course, leads to the credential stuffing attacks. For example, here's a software called, what is that? Some Instagram checker. Basically, you lead a huge combo list, and the combo list is a combination of email address and password pairs. For example, exploit in combo list contains 592 million of email address and password pairs. It's quite a huge data. You just load them, you load the proxies, so you will not be blocked by the Instagram, and you start checking which ones work or not. And of course, similar software available for different services. Recently I was reading about the sextortion attacks, how they use the breach data. Has anybody received a sextortion attack, the mail? Good. I'm not alone then, right? I mean, it's possible, but well, thing is that I have a separate machine for those purposes. Not really, but yeah. And thing is that I was checking transactions to this Bitcoin address, and apparently somebody was paying to them. Well, happens. And they make use of the passwords because we reuse the passwords, and at some point maybe I have reused the same password in brothers.com long ago, for example. And they send this message saying like, hey, your email is this one, and here's your password. You have used it, and we have recorded. However, this guy has a better solution. Rather than targeting random people, just sending out spam, it's better actually to take databases that are related to adult content or adult dating, like Ashley Madison was breached in 2015, Brothers.com in 2014, YouPorn, there's a lot of them. And it's better to just take the email addresses from there and then send the phishing. That could be more efficient, just saying. I would like to talk a bit about the breach notification services and the lookup services. So what's the difference? Breach notification is kind of legal guys like Troy Hunt. They inform you when your password has been leaked, for example, or your email address was compromised in some breach. When it comes to lookup services, they're kind of either black or a gray area. They actually allow you to see the raw data. For example, Troy Hunt doesn't allow you to see what password was used. You can check it, of course, if your email address was compromised, but you will not see which password it is. However, for example, Dhash, Vlick Info, Ghost Project, they all allow you to see the clear text or hashed passwords. I was doing a bit of comparison, like how many records do they have? Apparently, Dhash has the biggest, more than 6 billion. Second comes Troy Hunt with his have I been pwned 5 point something billion. But I suspect here's a thingy. Troy Hunt, according to his blogs that I was reading, he always counts the unique number of emails. So he might have generally more email addresses in his rather than the Dhash, but so it's how you count them. Now here's, for example, data that you can search on different lookup services. Have I been pwned by Troy Hunt allows only email address and domain names. Breach alarm the same, quite legal guys. Vlick Info allows everything, but I particularly like Dhashed because it allows everything to search, and plus they use the regular expressions. How cool is that? You can search, for example, I don't know, credit data by the bins, if you know. And speaking of dehashed, here's just the UI. I just kind of blurred my account there, my friend's account. Yeah, I'm getting quite a lot of notifications on Twitter. It's quite bad. How do they make money? There are different packages that you can pay for access. It might be like 1 day, 2 days, 1 week, 1 month. There's a different pricing, of course. There's different features. You can sign up for API access, which is kind of cool. At the moment, majority of them, I'm talking about the lookup services, not the have I been pwned. Most of them use the GG as a payment processor because it's quite easy. Since it allows quite a lot of options, payment options such as PayPal, all kind of cryptocurrencies, debit and credit cards. Here's the funny thing is that I found, and of course in GG you can make feedback about the service. This is from the vLeak Info's GG payment processor, and apparently somebody used somebody else's PayPal. So. Next we have just the example of the prices. Here's the access to the API. And these guys, of course, have the normal operations such as discounts. And if you would like to get into the business, here's the link. It's basically on the GitHub, and it's just a database searching engine. You just can plug your breach compilation, and voila, start earning money, maybe. We have marketplaces, quite a lot of them. Unfortunately, most of them sell, unfortunately for me, they sell drugs and chemicals and nothing interesting to me. And busts and the exit scams happen. Alphabet, Hansa got busted. Olympus did what's called exit scam. Basically, like, well, that's logical. If you sit on a lot of money, just close the stuff, grab it. This was a bit of disappointment, actually, because in the media they always say like, woohoo, on the dark marketplaces they sell our databases and the IDs and stuff. Yes, they do sell IDs, but when it comes to databases, this is all actually public data. You can just Google, for example, Dropbox 68 million of affected. It's just public. You basically Google and you find, and you can download the data set. But people still selling them because somebody might buy. The best place to get the data breaches are forums, in my opinion, at least. You can share, trade, and of course you make the contacts on those forums. There are a lot of forums, but at the moment the best one is RAID forums. It has really a lot of databases there and a big community. It also has a marketplace, internal, and they act as a middleman / escrow. Sometimes those links take you to a Satoshi box, which is basically you pay money and unlock the content. Of course, you need to know the reputation of the seller. If it's some unknown guy, it might be like 10 gigabytes of gay porn, for example. You don't know. So check your vendors. Basically, yeah, the main value of forums is getting contacts, because the main trading, where you get the really, really private data leaks, is making contacts and knowing the vendors. It's not on the forums, it's not on the marketplaces, like Tor marketplaces, it's P2P, peer-to-peer, one-to-one. You can talk over Telegram, they mostly use actually Jabber, so here you go. And I guess this is time for me to wrap up. Thanks a lot. Cheers. Now, probably I can take kind of questions, maybe. If not, I will just go and drink. Oh boy, Mr. Joona Hoikkala.
Sorry, Shamil. Thanks for the great talk. What kind of tools, the question here, what kind of tools do you use that you basically can disclose to actually find the data here?
Well, we have our internal platform, which is quite helpful to just gather information because we get a lot of data from different kind of forums and marketplaces. Otherwise, I just go myself into the forums. So it's a combination. And the thing is that I really love being there on the forums because I can justify it that I'm doing the threat intelligence. So
I see. Well, because we are talking about actual trading, not just getting data, how are you able to actually justify, because probably when we're talking about trading, you will have to give something to receive something.
yes.
How
yes.
and how and because of what do you basically justify the stuff, and what are you giving when you're
So
receiving?
should I reply it from the point of view of my employer or myself?
Probably the safest thing would be to do it like for yourself.
Yeah. Here's the thing, I don't buy the databases, and my company doesn't do that because I would be paying money to criminals. That's a red line. We don't cross it, and I don't cross it. But nobody stops me talking to those guys and knowing more. And if you are nice to them, really nice to them, you listen to how their life is pain and the school is so bad and teachers are unfair and the daddy doesn't understand him or her, you might get some free databases, quite rare ones, just because you're a nice guy to him. So yeah.
You're actually into social engineering.
Well, yes, it is. It is in a way, yeah. I mean, there are forums where you need to kind of infiltrate. Basically, there's application forms and blah, blah, blah. You need to bullshit your way inside, so yeah. Hey, mister, there's a question. Mr. Chris has a question. He even stand up. Oh my God. That's serious now.
Hey, so as a new guy getting into this kind of database procurement kind of organization, do I need to look in the dark web on like Tor networks to find all these databases, or is it all on the surface web? So like,
Yes.
where's the biggest, best databases?
I would say surface web. Start from databases.today. It's actually run by Snoozebase. It's also notification/lookup service, and they also have a repository of the public databases. So it's a good way to start collecting, for example, if you're into it. They have all major breaches like MySpace, LinkedIn, you name it, all of them.
Okay. And as a secondary thing, if there's companies like you that are buying these data sets,
We don't buy.
well, that don't buy. As a
We acquire.
As
we
a
get
black hat, how do I know the quality of the data set is good? So kind of, are there many good data sets in the Tor network or the black hat kind of markets that are good quality that haven't been procured by companies such as yourself?
Sorry. I'm not sure actually, because it might be so that some companies do pay actually to these guys to get some rare databases. But when it comes to the marketplaces on the Tor, at least for the data breaches, it's just exaggerated. Any other questions? Remember, you are keeping me from drinking and smoking. No. Yeah, nothing? Woo! Thanks. See you.